Hey y'all, it's Matrixity. That's what I use for my internet name, Matrixity. And I've had this channel for a while, but just never really did anything with it. But now I've decided it is time. I've got some things to say because I think my life has been pretty interesting, like yours probably too. I'm not really a special person, I'm just an ordinary person that I've had some extraordinary things happen. So I want to share some of those with you. Some of them might be funny, some of them might be scary, some of them might be strange, some of them might even be sad. And I might even throw in a mukbang or two. So enjoy the ride. If you like what you see, please feel free to comment, like, and share. Now, as far as my name, Matricity, the Matrix is where that came from. I am a big fan of the Matrix movie series. I've always loved that movie series because I've always believed in the Matrix. And I believed in the Matrix even when I was a little girl, but didn't even know what it was. When I saw those movies as an adult, everything became clear. The Matrix was real. So since then, I have adopted Matricity as my internet name. I use that on Twitter. I also use it on Instagram. I also use that a little bit on Facebook. So I'm everywhere. And now I'm going to be talking to you live sometimes and telling you some interesting things about my Matrix. So welcome to my Matrix. I hope you enjoy the ride. Now, it's funny that I chose today to start everything off as far as actually using my YouTube account. Today's actually, well, let me ask you, do you know what day it is? It is actually World UFO Day. World UFO Day. I have always been a nerdling. I am into sci-fi. I am into horror. Doctor Who. I'm Whovian. And I've always been that way ever since I was a little girl. For example, I've been watching Doctor Who since it first came on, back in the 60s. So, as far as sci-fi and all of those things, I'm a believer. So it's World UFO Day today. It's July the 2nd. Today wasn't always the original date. It was held on another day. But if you remember, back in 1947, something crashed in Roswell, New Mexico. The government had this big conspiracy about that for years. Such a big secret. We've got Area 51. Nobody really knew what was going on there. But finally, it was all exposed on July 2nd. So that's why today is now deemed World UFO Day. So this is the day when all the people should be watching the skies and looking for UFOs. Now, have you ever seen a UFO? I mean, a real one, not just some crazy stuff. Because I have. And trust me, you don't ever want to see that. Now, let me tell you about what I saw. And I have told my daughter this. She thinks I'm crazy. But I'm telling you, I swear, I have seen a ship. And I will swear that I've seen a ship till the day I die. Now, this was back probably in the 70s, late 70s, when I was getting ready to go to college. I was visiting some friends. This was in Columbia. And it was a summer evening. We were out walking in downtown Columbia. The skies were clear. It wasn't a cloudy night, so we could see clouds. Well, we were walking along, and I noticed that something seemed to be hovering in the sky. And I thought, that's not a plane, because it was literally motionless. It was a disc, an orb, just hanging in the night sky. There was no motions, there were no lights. It wasn't an airplane. It wasn't anything to do with the weather. The only thing I could think of it was, it's a UFO. So I watched and watched. I literally stopped my friend and we looked up at the sky and we watched. And we watched for about, I'd say a good 5 minutes. That orb never moved. It stood there. It was kind of like a silvery white color. It was kind of oval shaped, hanging around in the sky. And suddenly I got the feeling that if this really is a UFO, if we can see it, it can see us. And we might be in some danger, because then, of course, the whole thing about alien abduction ran through my mind. The whole thing came out. So we just watched. And then after about 5 minutes of watching, that little orb, I mean, it wasn't such a little orb. It was kind of big. I mean, it was big enough for us to see and know that it was not an airplane. It didn't have anything to do with the weather. It was not a weather balloon. It was a UFO. It suddenly streaked across the sky. I mean, like streaked from something big to something to smaller than a pinhead. It streaked across the sky and blinked out of existence. I kid you not. It blinked out of existence and it was gone, never to be seen again. My friend looked at each other, my friend and I looked at each other, and we knew that was a UFO. We had seen it, and ever since then, I look at the night sky, but I tell you that if we can see it, they can see us. And the technology, if you ever watch the X-Files, of course aliens have far advanced technology, more than what we have. They can come back and find me. Where I am in this big old world, they can find me and know that I was the one watching them years ago in Colombia. So I've always been terrified that I have never, ever wanted to look up at the night sky and see some sort of hanging orb ever again. I haven't seen anything since then. I honestly don't want to see anything, but I believe that there are UFOs out there and that some of them have visited this earth. There might even be aliens among us on the earth. Now that I do believe, because I've encountered some really strange people on this earth which did not seem like they were actually human. And that's for another story. But, seeing the X-Files, of course, I was a big fan of that show, Mulder and Scully, all about them. I believe, I truly believe that there are UFOs. And when you think about our government setting up ships and exploring space, NASA, and how big and wide this universe is, there's no way we can be the only Earth, the only planet out there with life on it. That's just impossible. God created a much bigger universes out there that we don't even know about. So there has to be life on other planets. There might be other suns, other moons, other life forms that we don't know about. Other life forms more advanced than us. When you think about the movie War of the Worlds, and I love that movie with Tom Cruise, we can't be the only ones here on this planet. There might be things below the earth that were here long before we were ever made. So, when you think about it being World UFO Day, today's the day. Watch those night skies. You might see something tonight. Me, I don't think I'm going to be watching because I've already watched and I've already seen and I don't want to see it again. But anyway, happy World UFO Day to everybody out there. And then, likewise, as I said, I'm going to be doing some things on this channel now. So if you've liked what you've seen, you find it interesting, tell me a comment, send me a comment, give me a like, share it. And I look forward to seeing you again. And remember, this is Matricity's Matrix, my muses, and whatever happened the way it should have happened, and it couldn't have happened any other way. See you later, alligator.